This memory of mine is fairly old, so there is a lot of gaps in it, but I can do my best to tell it as I remember. And also, if you need details on certain parts, let me know. And I can do my best to help, and I am using a fake name in it every year when I was 4 or 5. My whole extended family, aunts, uncles, and more than a dozen cousins would rent this big, fancy house deep in the woods of New Hampshire. To us kids, it seemed like a mansion. One full wall of the dining room was nothing but glass, staring straight out into the dark tree line. Behind the house, a little trail marked by garden gnomes led down to a wide river or lake where we fished. We were all sitting at the dinner table one evening on the last night of one of those trips. I was sitting between my closest cousins when I happened to look over at the huge glass wall. And that's when I saw them. 3, maybe 4 pairs of yellow eyes, all about the same height, shining from the woods about 100 feet away, perfectly still, perfectly focused on the house, staring at us. The moment I saw them, I felt like something punched me in the stomach. My head went hot, I got dizzy, the room spun, and I thought I was going to throw up. It wasn't fear. It felt like a presence, something heavy and evil pressing in from outside, and my body reacted instantly. I said nothing, just tried to stay upright. Afterwards, I was supposed to go fishing with my dad. I was still sick and feverish, but I didn't want to miss it. So we grabbed our rods and walked the gnome trail down to the water. Something in the woods followed us the entire way. You could hear it pacing us, not crashing around, not curious, but moving step for step like a predator shadowing us from the trees. It stayed with us all the way to the river and all the way back to the house. That night, my fever got really bad, so my parents put me in a bedroom near the front door so they could check on me more easily. I couldn't sleep. I kept drifting in and out, feeling awful, when sometime after midnight, I heard footsteps on the porch. More than one. Slow, deliberate, heavy. I turned toward the small window beside the door, and through the glass, I saw several wolf-like heads looking in. Their eyes were the same yellow I'd seen in the woods, but they weren't acting like wolves. They were positioned too high, standing too still, and moving in a way that looked coordinated, almost like they were communicating with each other in low murmurs. Then one of them stepped right up to the front door and tried the handle. Another pressed its weight against the wood. Claws scraped down the boards. And then, over all of that, a voice spoke. A human voice. It came from right outside the door from whatever those things were, and it said, Evan, open the door. It's cold. I froze. I didn't utter a word. They kept trying. The handle rattled. Claws scratched. Footsteps circled round the porch. Soft voices whispered. They stayed there for hours until finally the first light of morning came. When all was still, I finally summoned the courage to step out onto the porch. Deep claw marks scarred the front door. The boards were gouged and shredded as if something with serious strength had been trying to break. And I never told my parents what really happened. In fact, I never told anyone for years. But my family never rented that house again. And to this day, I still don't know what stood on that porch whispering my name.